We get quite a few large specimen trees from our customers to repot because they can't manage it themselves. A tree like this takes at least 2 men, probably 3 men, just to lift it out of the pot and to repot. So this was done using 3 people, and this was done in half a day. So that is done. This, by the way, if you come close, you'll see this very small needle. This, I think, is a Zuisho pine. I don't think it's a coconut because coconut tends to grow very straight. So you see how small the needles are on this. It's a 5-needle pine from Japan. I imported this probably in the mid-1990s, and I sold it to the customer maybe more than 30 years ago. So it's been in his collection for more than 30 years. And it comes back to the nursery every 5 or 6 years to repot. Unfortunately, the pot broke during the recent storm, so we had to put a new pot in. Yeah. And talking of pots, this, in case you think it's a ceramic pot, it's not. It's a mica pot. But the mica pots are so convincing. From a distance, you couldn't tell the difference between a mica pot and a ceramic pot. So this is a perfectly adequate pot. I usually like to pot them slightly over potted so that it doesn't make the tree too pot bound, and this will be more comfortable for the tree. Now let's turn to this big piece. Look at the size of this tree, and the trunk is every bit 30 centimeter in diameter at the base, and this, I would say, hasn't been done for maybe 6 to 8 years. I can't remember what, and there's quite a lot of mycelium, but it's absolutely congested. It is absolutely like rock. You see, I can't even break into that soil. It is so hard. In fact, I may need to bring the drill to drill some holes to loosen the soil. So this is a case where this tree is really pot bound. So we are going to look at this carefully again. This is an ordinary 5-needle pine, but the graft is very good. I'm not sure whether it is grafted, but you can see this size of this tree. Again, a tree that belongs to this customer. So this is in the process of being repotted. So I'll show you when this tree has been done. But we've got to get rid of some of the old soil, which is mainly akadama and a bit of our own mix in it. So there you go. We've teased out a lot of the old root ball, and we're going to put it in a slightly larger mica pot because the trees are vulnerable. If they're standing on a plinth, they can get blown over. So I prepared the pot there, and I'm going to tie it in with 3 mil wire. The tree is so big that I need 3 millimeter wire. And now my colleague here is going to put a layer of Hyuga. Are there any smaller grains of Hyuga than this?
No.
Oh, okay, just put very small. Enough. So we just spread it over. So this improves the drainage. Okay, that's fine like that. And we set the tree on that. Okay. Right, and then we will put a little bit of that soil, Joe, on top. That's fine. We mound it into a little mountain, small hill, so that when the tree sits on it, it's squashed the
Using
thing
this?
up. Yeah, that's perfect soil. So that is our standard compost. So that has got more than a third, 30% akadama, which is very expensive soil. Japanese volcanic grit in white and Japanese volcanic grit in black, and a tiny bit of bark in there. So that is our standard compost. Look at the mix. That is what we're going to use for this tree. So we put a little mound in the center, plenty. Okay, then we need to prepare more to fill the sides. And if you can just tilt it again, I'm going to show you the bottom of the tree that doesn't seem to be so pot bound. If you can kindly tilt it, I will just take a quick view of the underside. So you can see there's faint trace of mycelium, lovely mycelium there. And because the base is not so pot bound, I'm not going to touch the base, and I'm certainly not going to jet all that soil off. I think some people go too crazy and jet all the soil off, and that will cause problems. So this tree has survived for 30 years with this customer and is still looking very good. I may need to do some ginning work on this because it's lost a branch. Okay, so we are going to put it in that pot now. Okay, Joe, you ready? And Steve? Put it down, put the pot down there, yeah, and we'll plonk it straight in there.
Do you want to, does that actually need soil in and already?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Just drop it in, and if Joe mix some more soil, don't spoil the mound. Lift it and put it in a pot. I think we could do with a crane. It's one of these heavy trees. Ooh.
Actually, no, we're going to take more off.
No, lift it back.
Need another
2 inches on either side.
2 inches on the
Okay,
length.
okay, put it back in there.
I mean, if you are on the length,
Yeah.
Just grind it down, grind it down.
just needs wobbling. Really.
I think that side needs to go down a little. I think this side is higher than this side.
There's too much underneath it there.
Yeah, may need to lift it and take it.
Take it off. Terrible about it to make it look. Yeah.
So that tree has taken 3 men to do, and it's taken us a couple of hours to do that. So think how much it costs to repot that tree. 1.5 man days, including half a day of my time, to do one tree. So this is how we do the large bonsai. I've been repotting so many trees lately, and I'm trying to conclude this video about the repotting of pines. So let me just go and video all the pines that I've repotted recently. You can see what we've done. You see a lot of it is with pines. We use almost 50% akadama, and you know how expensive akadama is at the moment. So all our pines get a lot of akadama, Japanese pumice, Japanese volcanic grit, and pine bark. So that's the compost we use for the pines. So this is a bouverensis that I sold to a customer maybe about 20 years ago. So this tree would be easily 50 to 60 years old. It's about 80 centimeter tall, and this was trained from nursery material grown at Herons. So I'm very proud of this tree. These are all what we call produced at Herons. So it's come back for a repot, and I just have given it a very light trim. I haven't done much training or restyling. Another big tree which I want to show you is the ordinary Scots pine. These are ordinary Scots pine, quite different from the bouverensis. But even this one, you see I've spread the roots out to improve the nibari, and that's the compost we use for the pines. So that's another pine that we repotted. And looking around, if I just go into the greenhouse where we do all the work, repotting work, this is one of our semi-trained Japanese white pines that I bought from Japan maybe 20 years ago. We keep growing them big so that they are sold as semi-trained trees and people can do what they like with it. But from time to time we have to repot. This wasn't repotted for 5 years, so it's had its repot. Again, look at the soil. That I would say is half akadama. So just the soil alone is going to cost us quite a bit. What other trees did I repot? Yes, I've done quite a few pines. That's another white pine there on the floor. Very healthy. This one is about 1.1 meter high. And again, that's the compost we use. You notice that the way we repot, we take about 2 to 3 inches from the edge. And this one has been put into a bigger pot. We always put it in a bigger pot so that we get a stronger tree. This is another Japanese white pine. You can't see it because there's so many. This one has lost a few branches, but we're going to restyle it by making gins with it. and that is the soil. This one is almost 100%, no, I wouldn't say 100%, 90% akadama, and the rest of it is Japanese pumice. So that's the compost we use. That's the way we show the roots. And I just noticed that some of these pines, because it's spring, this is now the 15th of March, and these white spots here are adelgids, that nasty insect that sucks the sap from pines, especially pines. For some reason it doesn't attack other trees. It's mainly the pines and sometimes larches which get affected by adelgids. So this tree has got it, but as I say, not all the trees have it. Let me go to this one. This one is completely free. So you've got to watch each tree and observe how it is performing. And while I'm here, I can't help but show you the progression of these Deishojo. They are literally changing by the day. So although this is about repotting pines, I'm concluding the video by showing you this beautiful Deishojo which is just coming out into leaf. So there you go. That's another video concluded.